Yeah, it was quite a leap. I used to be in marketing for years and years, but something just wasn't clicking anymore. I realized I missed the outdoors and wanted to make a difference.
That makes sense. So, what did you decide to do instead? Did you go back to school or find an entry-level job?
I went full steam ahead into environmental consulting, took some online courses on sustainability and got certified in that field. Then I started working with small businesses, helping them become more eco-friendly.
Wow, that's a big change. How did people react when you told them about your decision?
Initially, they were skeptical, especially my family. But once they saw how passionate I was about it and how much I've grown in the field, they came around. Now, everyone thinks I'm the coolest grandma.
That's great to hear. What are some of the challenges you've faced during this transition?
Oh, plenty. The biggest challenge was learning new terminology and keeping up with industry trends. Plus, there were moments when I felt like an imposter because I didn't have a traditional background in it.
That sounds tough, but it must be rewarding to see the positive changes you help others make.
Absolutely. There's something really fulfilling about knowing that you're contributing to a better world, even if it's just one small step at a time. And watching businesses evolve and become more sustainable is incredibly gratifying.
That's so true. What advice would you give to someone considering making a career change later in life?
I'd say go for it. Don't let your age or past experiences hold you back. Research the field thoroughly, network as much as possible, and be prepared to put in extra effort. But most importantly, follow your heart. If you truly believe in something, that passion will guide you through.
Great advice, Ava. Thanks for sharing your story with us.
My pleasure. It's always exciting to see people take the leap and pursue their dreams.
Welcome back to Second Chapters, everyone. Today we have Ava joining us. She recently had a pretty incredible experience and is willing to share it. Ava, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Andrew. It's great to be here. Honestly, it's still a little surreal to be talking about it, but I'm happy to share.
Absolutely. So, you recently had a conversation with someone who completely switched careers at 50. Can you tell us a little bit about this person? I don't want to reveal too much about them, but just give us a sense of who they were before.
Sure. Mark was a senior accountant at a big multinational corporation for almost 30 years. He was meticulous, really good at his job, and frankly, a little stuck. He'd been doing the same spreadsheets and meetings for decades. He wasn't unhappy exactly, but he admitted he felt like he was just going through the motions.
That's a really common feeling, isn't it? It sounds like the classic comfortable but unfulfilled situation. What prompted him to actually consider a change? Was there a specific event or a slow burn?
It was definitely a slow burn initially. He started taking evening pottery classes, just something to try. Then he started volunteering at a local animal shelter, and that really lit something up in him. He realized he genuinely loved working with animals.
Fascinating. It's amazing how often a new passion can trigger a bigger shift. Did he immediately jump into veterinary school, or did he take a more gradual approach?
No, thankfully not. He did a massive amount of research. He spent a year shadowing vet techs and assistants, learning about the realities of the profession. He also took some online courses in animal care and welfare. He wanted to be prepared, you know?
That's brilliant. It sounds like he was really thoughtful about it. What were some of the biggest challenges he faced when talking to potential employers? I imagine it wasn't always a smooth transition.
Absolutely. The biggest hurdle was ageism, sadly. Many employers were hesitant to hire someone with his experience, fearing he wouldn't be adaptable. He had to really demonstrate his willingness to learn and his passion for the work. He highlighted his transferable skills, like problem-solving and organization, and showcased his enthusiasm.
That's a tough one. It's so disheartening when experience isn't valued. Did he find a role immediately, or was there a period of unemployment?
It took about 6 months. There were definitely moments of doubt and frustration. But he used that time to continue volunteering, gaining even more experience, and building his network. He was incredibly persistent.
That perseverance is key, isn't it? What's the biggest difference you observe in his attitude and approach now compared to when he was an accountant?
The energy. He's so much more engaged and optimistic. He genuinely loves what he does, and that makes all the difference. He's incredibly grateful for the opportunity and constantly seeks out new knowledge. It's a completely different mindset.
It's incredible to hear that. It really highlights the importance of finding work that aligns with your values and interests. Do you think it's possible to make a successful career change at any age, or is 50 a particularly pivotal moment?
I think it's definitely possible at any age. It takes courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to put in the work, but there are so many people out there who find fulfillment later in life. Mark is living proof. It's never too late to pursue something you're truly passionate about.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic message to leave our listeners with. Ava, thank you so much for sharing your insights and this incredible story. It's been truly inspiring.
My pleasure, Andrew. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's like you're already established in your industry, and then suddenly you're out there exploring new passions and possibilities.
I've heard of people who have been in one field for 20 years and then just up and quit everything to pursue something completely different. What drives them to take that leap?
For me, it's about finding purpose and fulfillment. When you're in a role that doesn't feel aligned with your values or passions, it can be really draining.
That makes sense. I've talked to people who have made career changes for financial reasons, but also for personal growth. How do you think they balance the uncertainty of starting over against the desire for change?
It's a big risk, but I think it's worth taking. When you're in your 40s or 50s, you've got more life experience and knowledge under your belt, which can be really helpful when exploring new career paths.
That's true. But what about the fear of failure? Do people who make this leap often have to confront some pretty significant fears?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles. You've got to be willing to take a risk and face uncertainty head-on. But at the same time, you can't let fear hold you back from pursuing something truly meaningful.
I love what you said about having more life experience and knowledge when making a career change later in life. That's such a valuable asset.
Totally. And it's not just about the tangible skills you've developed. It's also about the wisdom and perspective that comes with age. You're less likely to be swayed by fleeting trends or pressures from others.
I never thought of it that way, but now that you mention it, that makes a lot of sense. What kind of support systems do people who make this leap often have in place?
Well, some people might have a partner or a spouse who's supportive, while others might rely on friends and family for emotional support.
That's really helpful to know. And what about professional networks? Do people who make this career change often have to start from scratch when it comes to building new connections?
Yeah, that can be tough. But I think it's also an opportunity to build a new network from the ground up, based on your values and passions rather than just your existing experience.
That's such a great point. And finally, what advice would you give to someone who is considering making a career change at 50 or beyond?
For me, it would be to take small steps first, maybe start taking classes or volunteering in a new field. Get a feel for it and see if it's really the right fit.
That sounds like a great approach. And ultimately, what do you think is the most important thing for people to remember when making this kind of career change?
I think it's all about following your heart and listening to your intuition. It might not be easy, but if you're true to yourself, you'll find something that feels right.
Absolutely. Well, Ava, thanks so much for sharing your insights with us today.